Mastering high-performing teams with Kirk Peterson. Weekly insights and expert strategies to help leadership teams become high-performing teams.
Nick Delsano here, joined by Kirk Peterson, the Managing Director of Performance Shift, once again on this Thursday evening. Kirk, always lovely to see you. Tonight I want to ask you about trust. Now, we hear how important it is in the relationship space with whoever that may be. We hear about it in the sporting world. But how important is it in business?
It's just a massive word, isn't it, Dal? I mean, it is one of the massive anchors of a high-performing team, and I would argue whenever you have a collective group of people.
Yep.
So absolutely critical is the answer to your question.
How many types of trust?
What's interesting is the research we've had done from social and personal trust through to business trust is actually very different. So let me take you through some of the pillars of what trust is made up of. So in business, the biggest pillar of trust is actually one called outcome trust. And outcome trust means doing what you say you're going to do. Now that is critical.
Yeah.
It makes up a majority of the trust pillar. The second one is called relationship trust, but that's the one we think is the most important. And it's not as important as outcome trust. So what I'm trying to say here, mate, is that you and I may not like each other as people, but in business, I really trust that you're an expert in your field and you do what you say you're going to do. So therefore, I want you as a part of my team. So relationship trust is important, just not as important as outcome trust.
Okay.
And the third one is emotional trust, which really means having each other's back. And that means not throwing each other under the bus and not bitching behind each other's back. Now, that can really, really hurt your trust. So those three pillars are the most important pillars in business.
Can I dig a little bit deeper on the outcome one?
Of course.
What if, and the scenario is, I said I'm going to achieve something. Let's say it's budget, for example, and I do everything in my power. For whatever reason, I just don't make budget. Do I break your trust? And what tips do you have around supporting those people when the outcome isn't the desired one that they wanted?
Sure. So first of all, it's about doing everything in your power to achieve your outcome. Yeah?
Yep.
But if you said, I'm going to make budget, and you don't, you broke outcome trust.
Okay.
It's a tough rule, but we're talking about high-performing leaders and high-performing teams here, Dal, and they have tougher rules. So yes, but you used a macro example for that. Let me use a micro example. So if I say to you, hey, Dal, I'll call you back in an hour. I'll get that report to you back tomorrow, and I forget to, I also broke outcome trust.
Mm. Is the business trust like any relationship that it is really difficult to build, but really easy to break?
Absolutely. So we need to make sure that we are on an ongoing basis putting a thermometer into, am I building trust as a leader? Am I building trust in my team? Am I the person who does what I say I'm going to do? Now, one of the things I want to make sure we don't do is we don't use this middle ground that says, Dal, I know I committed to giving you a report on a Tuesday at 2:00, but Monday night I say to you, I can't do it. And that is the exception to the rule that says, that's okay, I didn't break outcome trust. No, you did. You did. So telling me whether that you're not going to do it is just better than not telling me. It doesn't build outcome trust.
I look forward to this part, and it's around your quote. I'm excited for this one around trust.
A relationship with no trust is like having a phone with no service. You just play games.
I like that one. That's very, very good and so true. So true. A phone with no service, you got not much to do but play Snake. Kirk, always a pleasure chatting to you. What can we look forward to next week?
Well, in the last session, we're going to have to be realistic about this. And in a high-performing team, people change. So we're going to deal with how do we deal with staff changes to make sure your team dynamics stays up.
Look forward to hearing all about that. Thanks a lot, Kirk.
Thanks, Dale. Visit performanceshift.com.au and as a first step, take our free mini team assessment to begin unlocking your team's potential. Shift your mindset, shift your performance.